Good morning, everybody. We are back in Saskatchewan. So, episode 27. 27. I normally get bored of a series by this point, but I love it. It's not going anywhere, not for a minute or two anyway. So yeah, I say good morning because it's not only morning in the game, I'm actually recording it in the morning. This never happens. I never get to record an episode in the morning. This is normally an evening thing for me, but here we go. You've probably noticed a bit of a slowdown in the content this week. That's because I'm trying to catch up with the Valley Spring, with the story mode. So they take me a lot longer. I think I've probably mentioned it before actually, but I can honestly probably do 3 episodes of this in the time it takes me to do 1 episode of the roleplay story, and that's mainly because there's a lot of editing involved. Things like the pause menus and stuff, you can't really show anything like that when you're trying to do that kind of story, so I've got to edit every single time I pause it, and then you've got the kind of the voiceovers, the adding the little picture in the side of everything. It's quite tricky. It's still enjoyable, I love doing it, but it is quite tricky, and getting Mr. Travaskis' voice on the go does take a couple of warm-ups, that's for sure. It's quite difficult to try and pull off that kind of proper Cornish voice. But anyway, right, a couple of things have changed. So thank you for Chantal with the heads up on the seasonal growth and how sometimes it can reset fields. I figured probably doesn't matter because actually the timing is perfect. Because we've harvested a field anyway, so it kind of worked out really. So I have gone seasonal growth just to kind of, I guess, add to that realism thing. So we are now dictated by a calendar, by a growth calendar, and by the way, very different to what I'm used to. So we are in May, and we are running out of time to get the next crop in. So we need to get on that today. That's our main thing. Now, we've got to finish probably about half a load's worth of straw down in the field we already harvested. I think the field itself looked pretty good, to be honest, so we can head straight down there with the direct drill and probably just get a crop in this episode. And to be honest, we don't have the swather or the pickup, but I do still want to do something different. So we're going to go with flax, just because we haven't done it yet. I believe flax leaves straw, which is handy, but doesn't really matter either way, to be honest with you. The only thing that consumes straw is the pigs. So that's going to be the main challenge of today's episode. Don't know how long this episode is going to be. I'm a little bit out of practice with these episodes actually, because I spent so many hours this last week doing the story mode. I kind of lose where I am on this, but we will start the day doing our usual chores. We'll just check in on the pigs. That looks like it's done a bit of a funny... I'll have to fix that as well, because that's not nice and level, is it? So I'll have to try and do that in a bit as well, otherwise the pallets are going to start spawning all over the place. But yeah, we'll just check in on the pigs, make sure that they're doing alright. I know last episode we topped up the grain finally. And from memory, I think if I was to just put a whole pallet of 1,000 litres of corn into their food, then they would pretty much be perfect. And that will keep us going for quite a long time as well, which is great. Oh, and even better, the corn's right at the front. So let's just do that a minute. And we're just checking on that open air greenhouse or garden there as well, because I don't know if the colour of those crops means it is growing. I'm not too sure. I know that's the kind of colour that soybeans are when you want to harvest them, but does that mean that it's producing them? We will have to check in a minute. Right, now let's just get one of these popped into the pigs. I've obviously skipped a month as well since the end of the last episode, so we'll just load up the pause menu in a mo and have a look to see whether or not the pigs have kind of bred anymore. I think, again, from memory, we were on 11. Let's have a quick look while I'm in the right zone. So yeah, the answer to that is they absolutely have been breeding. There's now 16 in there, 16 pigs in there, which is incredible. Now, we're probably going to need to sell them. We're going to need to get rid of a few of them, because everything kind of from this point onwards is free money, I guess. You sell it, they reproduce it. You can kind of keep the pigs at full capacity now. So let's just have a little bit of an overview. So these must be our original ones. We bought 2. Is there a second one? Oh yeah, it's above us there. So these are our 2 original pigs. They're now worth just shy of £1,000 each. They've probably produced 4 lots of babies as well, which is amazing. So one pig is worth so much money to us. Now in the long run, it's probably worth, each £500 pig's probably worth £4,000 or £5,000 overall. You just got to be a little bit patient with it, I guess. But we probably need to sell them. Yeah, because you know they're 3 months away from producing any more babies, and actually the rest of these will more than likely produce the babies in the meantime. Let's have a look, see what we've got due. Oh, actually we haven't. Okay, I'm going to change what I've just said ever so slightly. As soon as they've had their next baby, which should give us 1, 2, and then this one down here probably isn't far behind. As soon as we've had those 3 babies from those guys, we will sell them. So they should be up easily over £1,000. Great. Pigs are good. Pigs are a good idea. Definitely worth it. And not to mention, you know, they're producing some background stuff. We've got a decent amount of slurry there now. So 5,500 slurry maybe. This is obviously supplying their food, which, by the way, is the next thing. We probably need to do that. Is this running? Oh, it is running. Okay, so that's the colour of it running, which is fine. How is it looking for manure? Lots of manure. Lots of water. Maybe need some more seeds at some point. To be honest, we might need to buy some more seeds anyway by the time we've harvested the new, bigger field. So that's good. Cool. So, that was an easy bit of maintenance. There's no rain forecast, so we'll just leave the tractor there. So, now that we've done the kind of the basic bits, I'm not even going to check on water, because I know the water is going to be great, because we've pretty much filled everything up with the big tanker. So, we will just jump, I think, straight into the tractor, which a worker kind of drove down and parked up here for us. So, first task, let's get rid of the rest of this straw, and then we'll start to transport the tractors, the seeders, probably the fertilizer spreader. We'll give the low loader a go. We'll pick that up from the shop now that it's had its bit of work done, and we'll use that to bring everything down. It's the main reason I wanted to get it, really. Things like this. This is a field that's quite far away. You know, we need, if we were to just use the tractor, we'd then have to drive the tractor back to pick up the fertilizer spreader and then go back again. When you can only do 20 miles per hour, that's a bit of a pain. Wouldn't be so bad if we get a nice fast track in the shop on sale or something like that. That would be quite helpful. Just while I'm talking about the shop as well, actually, I don't know if I actually checked. No, so they're the same as yesterday. So they don't change as fast as you want. When you want something, they don't change. Do we need to upgrade the Mac? Not for 45 grand, I don't think so. Although I do like that. I think I probably like that a little bit more just because it's a bit newer. But it looks overall, it looks the same spec. Yeah. Wow, that does look pretty cool though, doesn't it? Anyway, right. Stop thinking about spending more money. I was hoping this was only half a load, but to be honest, again, it's a good problem to have, but this is filling up quite quickly. I'll probably call it quits after this load. If this fills it and there's still some left, we'll probably just drill that into the ground. Just purely because of the amount of time this takes to do. Might be alright. Okay, just set the worker to bring that back. We will take the Mac. We need to head down to the shop and pick up the low loader. So this will be one of its last chances now to prove that it is worth having, because the thing is just difficult to use. It's a really cool mod, but difficult to use. Maybe eventually, and it's definitely something that will happen eventually, as we work through series, build up more and more money, we'll probably get towards a really big American map with really big fields, and we'll start getting into the kind of the big bunts and the things with crawler tracks and things like that. And that sort of trailer would be perfect for them. But maybe for here and now, it's a little bit too much. We'll see. Nice to see he's driving in a straight line as well. He's not been drinking today. Right, while we're here, we might as well load up a bag of fertilizer and a bag of seed. Don't know if we need it, but we may do by the time we finish. So at least it's there ready for next time at the very least. So we'll just load these up. And then we'll head back onto the farm. This will be the test of how well I actually landscaped as well, because it'll be interesting to see if this does actually fit. Okay, here we are, back at the farm. How is this going to work? Let's flip it over to the other view, just to make sure. I mean, yeah, I think there's definitely no issue now with actually getting it into the yard. So that's good. Don't know how we're going to get it back out again. That may not be so good. I'm sure we'll figure it out. Okay, good. I always forget how to actually lower the back of that trailer down. Normally you just press like one button, A or something, and it drops it. But on this one it works a bit like the hydraulics of a forklift, so I keep forgetting to do it. I'm amazed that this tractor actually managed to get here. Although judging by the direction of the loading wagon, it didn't follow the track. But hey, I'm surprised. I didn't think it would have made it here. Now, we'll just drop this off really quickly. And then we'll find our seeder. And also the spreader. We'll load it all up. One thing we need to do, which I never remembered to do, is put some fuel in this tractor. I can see it flashing down there in the bottom corner. So we will do that straight away. Yeah, we'll just park this up into its correct place for a change. We ain't going to be needing this now for quite a while. Well, I say quite a while, actually. There is some grass to collect in there. It won't be too long, actually, but we'll park it in there anyway. I do that every time. Every time. Right, now. No doubt I've blocked the seeder in. Yes, I have. Okay, we'll just pull the harvester forward. Just so I can actually get to that seeder. Need to have a bit of a think. Need to have a bit of a swap around of the yard, I think. Because at the minute, it doesn't quite work. I guess it's depending on whether or not this low loader is worth keeping. Because then we can start to move some sheds around and see, find some correct places for things, I guess. Worst case scenario, we'll just buy another one. Okay, oh yeah, I am glad we got seeds because this has 0. So, let's get this onto the low loader. Hopefully without too much trouble. Will it fit widthways, or do we have to attach the little transporting gadget? Yeah, I think probably need to attach the transporting gadget. Okay. So it's a really cool mod, but you have to go in it from one side to get the wheel sorted, and then you have to turn around and go from the other side just to actually transport it. Which is odd. You'd think you'd be able to do it both from the same side, wouldn't you really? But you can't, and that's the reason why I always struggle with it. Now let's see if I can, how did I get rid of that thing? There we go. Right, good. Well, at least we can get it onto the trailer now. Don't really have the power to do it, but it will go. And it's a very tight fit, but we can just about get it on and still close the back up, so that's good. There you go, that's something for a tiny bit of realism, I guess. Transport it all over. I probably could just put the fertilizer into the seeder, because I know it does take it. And I could probably do that. But I'm just trying to keep a little bit of a challenge there. Now, does that close up okay? Wonderful. Made to fit. Right. This is going to be the challenge. How do we get out? I assume. Let's just spin around here. Yep, that works. Okay, well it's redeemed itself a little bit, this low loader. Just a little bit. Let's head on down to the field. Okay, we are here. So we'll just back this up before the traffic comes. Good, good. That will do there. Just open the back up. Remembered how to do it that time. Okay, good. So we are here. Now, before I get too carried away, did I buy the field data? Yes, I did. Okay, so that's good. Its pH isn't great. Its nitrogen is bad. So we're not going to lime it, not this time round, although we have got loads of lime back in the shed, but we won't do that this time round. Now, I just remembered I need to unstrap all of this. It's difficult to see where the straps are when you have these wooden boards put on. It's also quite difficult to actually unstrap them as well. Okay, right, we'll just we'll leave this here and get the seeding done. Hopefully, it will not take too long. Okay, let's get going. Lovely, looking pretty good. I'm quite excited to start harvesting the new crops. Get some flax going. You never know, in the meantime, while it's growing, something may happen, something may change. We could even end up having the swather and the pickup. That would be great. That's kind of my absolute thing I need to do, certainly before I consider changing maps. We need to at the very least have tried that. But yeah, I'll do a couple of headlands and then potentially set a worker on it. I'm not too sure, but I'll probably time-lapse from here on, so I'll see you very shortly. we are back. Just going to go around and get all the little scraggly bits. Normally, I ain't really too worried about this, but given that we've now got the seasonal growth on, we've got to wait until the right season to harvest this. It seems silly to waste, albeit it's only probably 50 litres of grain. We might as well maximise it for a change. Good. Well, that is the field done. So now we'll have some accurate data with regards to the nitrogen and things that this particular crop needs, and then we can go straight into the fertilizer spreader and get on with that. Now I don't know if it's just me, but I do find sometimes that, you know, obviously this seeder, you can put a fertilizer in it and it will do the job for you. I just feel like sometimes it uses a lot of fertilizer, almost as if it can't kind of read how much is needed. So I don't know, I always find it a bit better to seed it and then fertilize after, but maybe that's just me. I don't know if anyone's experienced that. But yeah, no, I just feel that it does use a little bit more fertilizer. Sometimes it doesn't even give you the actual result that you want either. So I'm just thinking, while I was doing that kind of time lapse talking to myself, I wonder if it's worth putting a little shed down here. Maybe we could put something in that section over there, a small shed. It means that we wouldn't have to transport the seeder every time. Potentially we could also leave the harvester down here. I don't know, but I was wondering, maybe that's a good idea. Right, let's get on and do this. This shouldn't take very long at all. I'll probably do a real quick time lapse, but yeah, it won't be long before I see you again. Okay, job well done. Let's have a quick look actually on the menu. Oh, that's looking better, isn't it? So these yellowy bits are potentially in need of doing again. It's probably down to the type of soil. Yeah, so the sandy loam, we may potentially have to come back down here and do that bit again in a different month. But actually, it's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. Now I am going to load up the seeder, not the seeder, sorry, I'm going to load up the fertilizer spreader because we are going to need that for the grass field. So we do need to take that back, but the seeder I'm just going to leave there for a minute and have a think. I wonder whether or not it is worth, wondering if it is worth doing some sort of small shed. That land there I don't believe is ours. Is it? Let's have a look. That would be handy if it was, wouldn't it? But I don't think it is. No. So the only bit that's ours is this side of the track. So, you know, potentially small shed in here. I don't know. And it needs to be quite a really small one. Maybe 2 bays, but here maybe. Could save a lot of the carting around anyway. Now we'll also leave the little attacher here as well, which is for that. Would it let me pick that up? Oh, that's interesting. I wish I knew that a minute ago. That would have saved me a lot of hassle. So that goes with that. So we'll just drop that there with it. But we are just going to leave that there. I'm sure the neighbours won't mind. Just while we're on the road, we'll go back to the shop and get probably another bag of fertiliser and another bag of seeds, just so that we've got it. We'll start to build up a little bit of stock storage. And actually the open air greenhouse needs the seed anyway, so we're going to have to do it. Looking pretty good though. Looks alright. Job well done. Oh dear. I did not strap the seeds down. And it won't allow me to move them either. Okay, right, well, problem for another day. At least they're not blocking the road. I'm sure this won't take very long at all. So I'll just pop them onto the back. I'm not going to put the fertiliser near the fertiliser spreader, because what I'm going to try and do on the way back is pull up close to one of those bags that just fell off and see if we can pick that up whilst it's still on the trailer. That would be one less thing to worry about, and we can do the same again, to be honest, when we start to seed. We'll just pick up that bag with the seeder next time around, so it'll be fine. Right, remember to strap them this time. Right, let's head on back. Okay, we are back at the farm. So we'll just, same as last time, we'll kind of pull into here and reverse the low loader up. Switch back to the other view. That's one of the main mods that I miss through using the Crossplay mods, is the realistic cab view. Just the one that allows you to kind of see much better without having to go into this view. I think for my roleplay story I wouldn't have a choice to use it, to be honest with you, because you just can't see anything without that mod. Right, I'm just going to back this up into here. I'll leave the tractor on for now, to be honest with you. Or actually, no, let's not do that. Let's not be lazy. Let's, while we're pulled in front of the fuel tank, let's fill this up with fuel. If it will let me. It is going up very slowly. Very good. And let's just leave it out slightly, actually, because we'll go down, we'll get the other John Deere. And we'll unload these bags, but also we'll take one down to the open air greenhouse, just to make sure that that doesn't stop producing us some money. So we'll head down there now. So balance has gone down a bit, $52,350 now. That's because we've bought a couple of bags of fertilizer, 2 or 3 bags of seed today. So that is naturally going to go down. And I think, to be honest, that's one of the extra challenges with seasonal growth. You go through quite a long period of time without being able to generate money. The daily kind of needs and necessities will slowly wear that money down. So I quite like it, actually. It adds to the kind of challenge, the future planning side of it. Now, one thing that we're going to need, now that we're getting into kind of the real crops, as you've seen probably then by the state of that field, it gets a lot of weeds. Now, we are going to need a sprayer, just so we can put a bit of herbicide down. We could look into getting a weeder while they're small, but actually what that does is puts a lot of task at the very beginning, and then potentially you spend a lot of time then waiting for it to grow without doing anything. So to keep the series kind of flowing, I want to ideally get a sprayer. Now, the problem we have with that is there's 2 sprayers I like the look of, which suit the kind of low scale pricing the series needs. But one of them, I didn't realise, is actually not crossplay. So I had to deactivate that. The second one is a John Deere. Now, sticking by the rule of 3 pieces of the same brand at any one time, which I do want to stick to, means that we're going to have to get rid of something John Deere. Now, I don't really want to get rid of the mower because we need that. There isn't a better option. So potentially, what it does mean is one of these tractors may have to go. So we'll have to keep an eye out in the shop for some sort of good deal. Oh no, I can't actually reach them. Must be a way. See if I can bash them a bit. But yeah, no, we need to keep an eye on the shop for a good deal. A different tractor. We need one that's a bit more powerful anyway. But a different brand. It needs to be a different brand. That will then allow us to get the sprayer, which is what we want overall, really. I was kind of hoping I'd be able to move that bag with this, but that didn't quite work, did it? Okay. Doesn't matter. Let's lower it and redo it. Good. So we'll take this down to the garden and just restock the seeds. So the good thing is we've been planning ahead. We've got income due from the pigs. You know, that's probably about £1,000 each. We're going to have maybe 3 or 4 of those to sell quite soon. We've got a lot of income being generated here from this garden, which is great. And that's why I'm trying to prioritise this now. Are they actually unloading? Has it already filled it? It hasn't already filled it. Why won't it fill it? There we go. Just needs to be higher. Odd. But it's going in there now anyway. So I would imagine this will take the whole thing. Oh, easily. Easily take the whole thing. Wow, see how much it can take actually. Good. Well, that'll do for now. We'll keep the other bag spare. Just until we potentially have to reseed. So I think we're doing good anyway for other things. I think we're doing alright. We'll just disconnect that and we'll fill up the manure with just what's there. We might as well as one of the last little chores of the day. But I think, to be honest, that's probably getting close to where we're going to be at for this episode. So, decent bit of progress again. The field is fully seeded, fully fertilised, future-proofed for a little while. Obviously, we're now running on... Where on earth am I going? Too busy chatting. So yeah, we're now running on seasonal growth, which is going to add to the challenge for definite. I do like a bit of a challenge though, so I don't mind that. So we're just going to have to maintain the field, I guess, just monitor it. See if maybe in the next game month or two we can go and re-fertilise it. Get those kind of areas that weren't great looking nice and green. Okay, but yeah, no, I think we're good. I think we're doing alright. Actually, let's have a look at this soybean. How much have we actually got in here? Okay, let me just turn the info back on. Okay then, so there's another 1,500 litres of soybean in there as well. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,000, so 9, let's say 10,000 litres of soybean currently. Just to kind of think ahead, where are we at for soybeans? So actually next month is the best price, which is 2,500 per 1,000. There's 25 grand of soybean there. So we know what we're doing next episode. The low loader is going to have to get some work again, and we are going to be selling all of the soybean, which will give us a nice boost. In fact, we'll check on the shop. Not a lot going on, but the sprayer is quite important. I think we're going to need that probably as one of the main next things to get. So we kind of need a tractor to come up in the shop just so we can sell one of them. And to be honest, I think it will probably be that one. This is our better of the two tractors. However, the other one is the only front loader we have. So we'll probably have to get rid of this tractor. But I'll see. I'll have a think. Let me know if you've got any ideas. I know I've had a few suggestions of tractors to go for, which I have downloaded and activated. I'm just kind of still hoping they might appear in the shop right before the day we actually need to buy it. So fingers crossed, I guess. But I do also try to go for tractors that other YouTubers aren't using in very similar series. So, yeah. Take that into consideration, I guess, if you got any suggestions, because I don't want to go for the same. I want it to be a bit different, so everyone who's watching can kind of see some different equipment rather than the hordes and hordes of Massey Fergusons and John Deeres. But yeah, we're done. So thank you very much for watching, and until the next episode, cheers and God.